Storms to alert you first. This is KIMT Storm Team 3. Weather coverage you can count on.
KIMT Storm Team 3 meteorologist Sara Knox is joining us now. And if you notice, there's one thing different about this show. Usually you can see the camera behind us pointing down over downtown Rochester, but we had to change it to the blue background because there's so much fog. It would just be a big gray blank slate basically, and that fog is just lingering and sticking around.
Yeah, that reminder that, yeah, it's a little gray out there. Really hard to start off this new work week. Let me tell you, and it's not just Rochester. So yes, that image right there, that's what would be behind the desk if we didn't choose to change the background to the blue. Meanwhile, in Mason City, yes, still very foggy, but we're starting to see some things get a little better, especially a little closer to the surface. As a reminder, the camera in Mason City is one of our tallest, so it's really up there in the clouds, but on the surface, things are looking better, and that's why visibility numbers have changed. We're sitting around 8 miles of visibility in Mason City, give or take a mile or two. That's definitely a lot closer to the 10s that we like to see versus, say, Dodge Center, Austin, Albert Lee, sitting at 0 miles of visibility. Even Charles City, not too far away, is under half a mile alongside Rochester. That is going to be the talker throughout the day. I bet you anything. It already is here through the morning because a lot of this fog dancing around with temperatures that are right around the freezing point. And for many of us, even just slightly below it, we've seen some freezing fog, freezing on the roadways, bridges, untreated surfaces, even a little bit on the trees. You can see a little of that frost. Visibility a 1/4 of a mile or less. That is expected through the rest of the daytime hours. However, the dense fog advisory has been allowed to lift for our corner there in North Iowa, which is good news. That is why we're seeing things improving in Mason City. It's going to still take some time, though, because temperatures still dancing around the dew points as well. In Mason City in particular, temperatures have warmed just a degree above that dew point of 30 degrees. But when the temps and the dew points get very close or even, that's when the fog becomes thick. There's, of course, other things playing around. We're talking inversions, not letting this fog lift, and unfortunately keeping clouds around too as we go through the rest of the day. These temperatures will stay very similar to where they are right now, so right around that freezing point. And as we get into the evening, naturally they're going to cool back down, which gives us another chance to get some freezing, light icing on things like sidewalks. Walking conditions, not the most ideal right now, although most of us are facing more wet sidewalks. I walked on my driveway even just this morning. This was around, 10 a.m. and it was slick. I had to scuttle around there. So ice still most definitely a possibility, especially as we get back into the evening and temperatures go down. Again, mostly for untreated surfaces. Roadways are back in the green here as we've come into the midday. And we're worried about the fog, but a lot of this helping to push the fog away. A little precipitation. Doesn't necessarily mean it's coming down in droves right now. We get that light green color, a little bit of white, kind of a wintry mixture. It is enough to stir up the atmosphere to push away some of the fog in those North Iowa counties. As I zoom things out, we can see a lot more going on to the west. Will it come our way? Well, the answer is actually a little yes, a little no. This is around 6 p.m. later today, and by 8 p.m., could see some of that sneak in south of I-90, but that's about it. Otherwise, most of us staying on the drier side. I say that because the fog itself is enough to count as some precipitation. It's given us headaches with those temperatures right around the freezing point. And as we head into our Tuesday, New Year's Eve, temperatures are going to take a dive, but that means drier air is moving in. So we get sunshine, but the price are the cold temperatures on the way.
Ooh, I'm not looking forward to that.
Me either, but I do like the sun.
I do too, yes.
It's a double-edged sword.
Get some vitamin D.
There you go, definitely need it.
Thank you, Sara.
Of course.